All right, welcome back. I have a Vice story here, and this is probably one of the most gross ones that I'll have on my list at realcopstoryvideos.com. Okay, I have to plug that. My associates say I should do that. So you might want to take your kids out of the room. You might want to, maybe some sensitive ladies out of the room. This is pretty bad, okay? And let me give you a little thing here in the beginning, a little disclaimer. I don't really care what people do or who they do it with. Okay, I'm not here to judge homosexuals, heterosexuals, transgenders, but working as an officer in Vice, okay, and you don't like people doing anything in public. That's the thing. Okay, that's what clarifies you having sex with whatever you want to have or with whatever you want to have sex with. Doesn't matter, and that's what Vice does. Our job is to work investigations that would get complained upon in parks and public places where they're having all kinds of illegal sex. Okay, so you know what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to judge anybody. Okay, you want to do what you want to do, I don't care. Okay, we are lawmen. We're not police officers. We're lawmen. If the law says it's legal to rob banks, then we'll let you rob banks. We're lawmen. Recently, marijuana is being legalized. A lot of officers like it. A lot of officers don't. Okay, but it's the law of the land. People want it. That's the law of the land within reason. Okay. Okay, so based on all those disclaimers, here's the Vice story. I was new in Vice, and I'd been there maybe a couple of weeks, and never worked Vice before, and I'm getting training by different partners, and I'm getting training by different people that know what they're doing, and so I got a head full of information. I haven't done very much yet in the field of Vice. So we got called to go to a park in part of the city, a huge park, and they have a huge problem of people having sex. Okay, and so, sex in the bushes, that's another story, realcopstoryvideos.com, there's, all over the place. Okay, so, they had a couple of restrooms here in the public park that they got complaints about. It was constant ongoing complaints all the time. They go in there and make a bunch of arrests, they clear the case, and then a week would go by or 2 weeks, and get another complaint. Because this is just where they hang out. And again, they meaning people that have sex, whether it be male or female or male or whatever. Okay, I'm trying to do this because I don't want you to think that I'm homophobic or all these words they use now. I'm just telling you what is against the law in public. Okay, so I'm a new guy, I'm a new face. Other Vice cops want to have a big joke and send a new guy in to this bathroom to see what he can see, and then we'll deal it. If there is something in there, we'll deal accordingly. Okay, so I'm walking in there, and it's during the day, it's like noon, and I walk in, and there's all kinds of Vice cops everywhere. We have signals, we have all kinds. There's one guy standing right outside the bathroom listening for my coughing signal, which means we have a violation. And then they knew there might be multiple people in here, so they're going to have multiple cops to respond to my request, just in case. So I walk in, and this is what I see, okay? The kids out of the room? Okay. I walk in, I see 4 males, completely naked except for shoes, because you know why they want to have shoes on? Because again, to the other realcopstoryvideos.com, other stories I've told you, public restrooms have sticky substances on the floor. It could be urine, probably is, water, and the other material that men produce when they have sex, okay? That winds up on the floor, okay? So they're wearing shoes, that's all they're wearing. I walk in and I look and I see these 4 guys, they're all bent over, and they're connected. Okay, now, I don't know if I can explain this more explicitly, but they are plugged into each other. Okay? Here, I'll do it this way so I don't have to say it. Okay? They're plugged into each other. And these aren't females, these are males. So you know what part goes into what part. Okay? Alright, so I walk in and see this, and of course, never seen this before because I'm not in this kind of group of activity. Okay? I'm like, first thing I thought is, oh my gosh, okay? And then my police work kicks in and says, this is not good, this is a violation because this is what I've been trained for. I know it seems archaic to do that, but I'm new at this. Now, eventually I work another Vice store and other stories on my realcopstoryvideos.com, and now I'm a seasoned Vice cop, but this is like new. And I'm like, oh my, and then I start coughing like crazy because I got to get the cavalry in here, okay? So I hear footsteps, and of course, again, like in other stories I told you, you can usually tell when the suspect's reaction that the cavalry's coming, okay? Because they're all busy. Oh, by the way, I forgot one thing. as they're bent over and I walk in, I'm standing there staring at them for maybe 5 or 6 seconds before I realize I got to do something. The guy on the end, this is a double entendre again. I don't do that, I'm Mexican. The guy on the end is bent over and he's pointing to himself. He's looking at me and he's pointing to himself. He wants me to connect into him. He wants me to continue the chain. I forgot about that part. That's why I had the kids out of the room. Okay? So I'm like, oh, I'm nodding my head, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm coughing my butt off because I'm not going anywhere, trust me. And so here comes the cavalry. So again, they're all lined up and they're looking at, a couple of them are looking at me. And then here comes the cavalry behind me. And you know, like it's like 6 or 7 vice cops, beef on the hoof, basically linebackers coming through the door, and they're all yelling vice. Okay, so they all unplug. Okay, and that's about as clean as way I can say this. And there's only one door, and like I said in the other stories, where there's only one door, they want to get to that door. They have to get through 700 or 800 pounds of police beef. Okay, ain't gonna happen. So now there's guys running, they're grabbing them, and of course they're all naked and they're all sweaty and it's hot. And so you're trying to, in those days we could choke people, so they're trying to choke them. There's people on the ground. You know, I'm not even involved in this because these guys are seasoned vice cops. I'm just kind of watching to see if anybody needs any help. And then within about 20 seconds, everybody's handcuffed on the floor, okay, picking everybody up. This is gross, man. And, oh, and by the way, there's a nice little smell to this too, okay? I'm adding all this stuff. This is the worst vice story, man. The smell of poop, urine, fluids, and then you got officers that are pissed off because their clothes are all stained because they had to fight these guys on the floor. The guys on the floor are covered with this stuff. It's a mess. I don't know if you could even do this on TV because it's so gross. Not the sex part, guys, believe me. It's everything else involved in it, okay? So everybody gets up. And we're walking out, and their supervisors are in there too. Everybody's in there. I mean, it's a 30 by 30 foot room, and there's probably 15 people in there. Okay, I mean, it's amazing. You got 2 urinals, you got some sinks. I mean, it's just everybody's everywhere. Okay, so everybody comes out in a big line, handcuffed, and people in the park are looking, and some people are laughing. Some people are. These are days before you had your little snap, video phones. So you got some people with cameras because this is an unbelievable spectacle. You got basically 10 people coming out, 5 handcuffed, 5 escorting, along with side officers, and we're all walking down to get to our cars. And I mean, can you imagine you're sitting in the park with your family and look, oh my gosh, you're covering your kids' eyes up because this is gross. But then you're probably thinking, if you're a regular person, law-abiding citizen, again, hell or not, you're probably thinking, well, it's about time. I can't even use the restroom because these guys are in there, okay? So that was my grossest vice story. It's pretty bad. I got my associates here are kind of wincing at this, but this is real-time stuff. This is the best one. Grossest one I have probably in all of them. Okay. So, arrests were made and we were alone there. We just went there to help them. So we went back to our division, and there's other stories where we go back and chase people down the road, and there's naked guys chasing women on horseback, and there's guys in the bushes. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I have a lot of videos in there, so look up my website and you'll enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a very interesting story. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.